If you ever find yourself at the starting line of a marathon, know that you didn't get there by mistake. And it certainly wasn't because you were satisfied with everything in your life. Because to run 26.2 miles is to reject the comfortable middle ground and to instead embrace the beauty of duality. It's to sign up for a day of heaven and hell, a day of light and dark, of pleasure and pain, glory and struggle, happiness and misery. The only guarantee being you never really know which one is coming up next. The highs are greater than anything you've ever felt, the lows more devastating than imaginable. But if there's one thing I've learned in 36 years on this planet, it's that however bad the pain of doing something may be, nothing hurts more than the pain of regret. Some people will fall in love with running despite zero intention to. Heck, I certainly was one of them. But no one, and I mean no one, shows up to the starting line of a marathon by accident.
I'm trying to really take the whole stay off your feet the day before a marathon thing seriously. About 14 hours away from start time. Picked up the bib earlier. Gonna have the same meal I usually do tonight, which is the spaghetti lemon. I got a recipe for you there. So as for race day, we got a 4:30 wake up. I'm gonna hydrate, liquid IV, same breakfast I did for my 20 miler, chocolate protein overnight oats with a banana and some honey, and then the orange ghost. Hopefully poop. Hopefully poop, please. Please. Get my stretches in the morning and tape the nips. Be ready to rock. Get on the metro, should be about a 25-30 minute ride to the Pentagon, and then from there I will probably take like 3 or 4 nervous pees along the way. Race starts at 7:55 a.m. And as for the race itself, the plan is to go slow-ish for the first 3 miles, probably go like a 9:30 pace, and then try to go around 9 to 9:10 a mile, miles 4 through 23, and then just do what we can the last 5K. I have no clue how my body's gonna react at that point. And yeah, every mile past mile 20 will be the longest run of my life. So the goal is 4 hours, but crossing the finish line will be a PB regardless. Ready to rock? I will see you bright and early tomorrow for marathon number 1. Good night.
Start in like 20 minutes. Finally made it to Runner's Village. Had a very productive morning. Poop at the house. No porta potties. You could not pay me to stand in those lines, but the beauty of not being in New York City is there are woods here, and I've already rocked 2 bush peas. that were spectacular. Let's ride. 20 minutes until start time. There is nothing like a national anthem in Washington, D.C., baby. Let's fucking go. At this point, everything felt super normal. I mean, the day was basically like the 20-mile simulation run I had done on my peak week. A little chilly, I guess.
Bro, it's cold.
You're telling yourself, don't come out too hot, stay calm, and stick to the plan. And that's exactly what I did.
MVP's back there. Hour 35. 10-7.
On goal pace. I mean, that 3:55 pacer that I saw at the start line, he had not moved. Next thing I knew was coming up on half marathon, and I was about to PB that.
Halfway, 1:56.
Yeah, my hamstrings were a little bit tight, and every time I looked down at my watch, I was a little bit surprised to see my heart rate was in the 150s when I was breathing through my nose. But the show goes on. It's one foot in front of the other.
You got it. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
It felt like everybody was in a groove. I sure was. Miles 18, 19, 20. And then things started to get a little different around mile 22.
Horrible.
Quite frankly, I had no idea what was in store. I thought I had thought of everything. Okay, my calves are gonna be sore, my hamstrings might be tight, my quads will probably start to hurt. Heck, I figured my runner's knee was gonna kick in, and I was already in the 20s and that hadn't happened. I never in a million years could have guessed what happened next. At mile 22 and a half, somebody pushing a stroller ran into my right calf. And it was so jarring. It was painful, sure. But at that point, that was the least painful thing on my body, and it was honestly kind of a welcome distraction. Also, I heard them apologize like 3 or 4 times, and like they probably felt way worse than I did at that point. I was just absolutely toast. The bottoms of my feet felt like somebody had hit them with a sledgehammer for the last 2 hours. I can't explain it. I have never experienced anything like this. At mile 23 or 24, the goal of sub 4 was completely out the window, and the only objective was finish.
Joke, I'm too tired. Sorry.
At this point, I just told myself and made a mental pact. You are going to start running, and you are not going to stop until you cross the finish line, because once you do stop, we are done running today. Horrible afternoon yesterday. Dark, deep, specific thoughts of an irreversible decision. Planning to cancel subscriptions, leave my phone on the desk, off the bridge. Didn't eat much at work. Got through it. Sun is out. Today is a new day. You're one decision away from your life changing. Keep going.
Oh, under the Williamsburg, over the Manhattan, back to Brooklyn. I'm not optimistic. What a day. Feel okay though, so I'll take that.
April 4th, 2024. A week before that, I had signed up for the New York City Marathon lottery. I didn't get in. A month later, I signed up for the DC Marathon. 3 weeks after that entry, I was no longer at a horrendously toxic job.
We're about to be on the Manhattan home stretch. Locked in.
I started thinking better of myself, although I still had really difficult time kind of processing a circle of grief and trauma that I was going through, and was just kind of stuck. And I had really negative opinions of myself, just undisciplined, unworthy. Thought about going back to therapy, and I figured I have plenty of information and just need more action. You know, sitting around and trying to outthink your problems doesn't really solve them.
My calf pain went away. Those fruit snacks were magical. Much like the dinosaurs, those Jurassic Park fruit snacks make the pain go extinct. It's bad. I'm exhausted.
If you've ever seen anyone break down at the finish line of a marathon, it probably has a lot to do with that and very little to do with the actual running itself. The truth is, I discovered running at a time when I hated myself the most, and it helped me save my life. Running gave me structure at a time when I felt lost, discipline when I felt chaotic, a time to clear my head with just me and the outdoors.
Freedom, baby. Freedom.
It gave me a purpose and a voice when I felt lost. I started running out of hatred, but it was during this prep that I started doing it from a place of love.
2 years ago to the day, I was training to peak in 10 weeks for the distance I just ran today on a casual morning midweek run. Compete with yourself, not anybody else. That is just amazing progress.
And when you're in those deep and dark, vicious circles where you go from hating yourself and feeling guilty and worthlessness, it's not about doing pep talks in the mirror and convincing yourself that you're okay. Because a hard truth about self-respect is a lot of it is evidence-based. You have to do what you want to become. We're not put here on Earth simply just to exist. We're meant to live. And even when the path isn't clear, it is always worthwhile to take that next step, because one small step at a time, you can go to places you never thought possible. By taking one simple step and never stopping. So if you've ever wondered why people cry at the finish lines of marathons, it's because of that. It has so little to do with the running itself.
I'm blown away by progress. I don't even feel like the same person I did when I started this block over summer. It's amazing. It is amazing what happens with little things every day.
It's not because of self-talk in front of the mirror or positive affirmations written down. It's because they built an undeniable stack of proof. They showed up for themselves, and they didn't quit even when they had 99 reasons to. They found one reason to keep going.
Legs tired, which is expected. That was peak week. It's supposed to hurt.
Because outside of a race like this, there's really no finish lines in life. We simply have chapters that end, new ones that begin. And no matter how bad the last chapter was, the next chapter can always be the best one. And the next step is always worth taking. And if I had to go through the worst year and change of my life to get to this point, if that was the price for success, I am so happy to have paid it, because I know that the bill for regret is so much worse.
Congratulations. Good job, Jack. Thank you, sir. That's such a brutal distance. Good God. Had fun. Would do again.
I'll tell you what, the new background is already looking way cooler for conference calls. Thank you so much to everybody who watched this series. It was absolutely amazing to put this together. I've kind of had thoughts about doing this for way too long and finally just put things into motion at around the halfway point of my training block. I've always wanted to show kind of the raw aspects of life. I think too often on social media, everything is perfect and it's just unrealistic. So that was my goal for this series, and that is my goal for this channel. So while this is the end of marathon number 1, there will probably be marathon number 2, hopefully 3, 4, and beyond. In between that, plenty of other things planned. I got some kind of 30-day challenges and some other things that I want to try out and experiment with and document and share learnings with that are just kind of difficult to do during marathon training. One of those things may or may not be a beer mile, which shockingly has a lot of rules. A few things a bit more serious. I am going to do a 30-day run streak and kind of share the value of consistency versus intensity. But overall, I just want to share life lessons and things that I'm learning along the way, because at the end of the day, nobody really has it all figured out. We're all just making mistakes and doing the best we can day in, day out. So again, thank you so much for watching. I look at the bibs behind me now, and 2 years ago, there were 0 here. I had never been on a run longer than 5 or 6 miles, and I just ran a freaking marathon less than 2 weeks ago. Anything is possible. We put limits on ourselves that we have no business doing, and you will be shocked what happens when you put one foot in front of the other and just don't stop. And that's regardless if you're running a race of sport or just the race of life. Plenty more to come. I can't wait to share. The next video will kind of break down the marathon. It'll be way less formal than this. It'll probably be more like this, of just me talking directly and sharing what I've learned. So please subscribe. Can't wait to show you what's next. And thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Peace.